Hey, what's up guys, it's Oakley and we're going to be playing as Baktria once again. The last video I had, towards the end of it, I was sort of holding in more and more of my sickness, and then at the end I was sounding really stuffy. But anyways, I'm doing this video, I should be a little bit more recovered. Yeah, anyways, look at my build right here. I am definitely liking the Baktrian troops. Again, if you haven't downloaded it, it's a free unit that you can go ahead and pick up. And some of the units like these are very cool. I really like them a lot, and I like the unit diversity that they have. It's kind of similar to the Seleucids, but I do find they have a little bit more in the skirmishing department. I like the cavalry that they have to offer too. So yeah, fun faction play, fun faction tryout. Anyway, you can see my setup right here. I have archers in the front with thorax pikemen, my peltas in the center, thorax swordmen, and on each flank I have those more of these a little bit, or what are they called? I think it's the Baktrian phalanx, something like that. It's like the best Baktrian spear unit that you can buy, not pike but spear. So they're on my flank. Anyways, the opponent is going to be the Seleucids. Brought some royal peltas and a main line of these, I believe. What are these? Thorax pikemen. Yeah, so he kind of has the equivalent of me moving up the center. Thorax pikemen are the sort of the bread and butter, I think, of the pike forces. I really like them. They're definitely very strong. Take a look at my forces moving up here. Some of them are going to be kind of like stuttering as they move up, but now it's a bit fixed. And yeah, I definitely like the glorious colors of Baktria against the backdrop of the gray sky. It doesn't stick out as much as when they're on the open plains. Anyways, I do have a force here that's going to be composed of the Cataphract Cav as well as some hillmen. So I'm going to take the opportunity to sneak through the forest here. And usually when you're fighting against another pike faction, what you should do is try and find a way to make your pikes break theirs, because I basically, you never see me have straight up battles where I just charge up the center and that's it. I don't ever really trust myself or my forces to do that. I never have my builds with the intention of doing that. I always try and find a sneaky way to get around you. Historically, that's what a good commander would have done. In Total Warrior, sometimes you can just push all the way through, and some people do have those battles where both forces go into that kind of melee scrum, but I think it's best to try and send at least some units around the flank. So what I'm going to be doing, as I said, is sending these guys here. I'm going to right-click on Trample. If you guys didn't know, if you right-click on that ability as opposed to left-clicking, it kind of like saves the command, so next time your forces are on the charge, it'll automatically tell your units to use that. And as you can see, because I'm using this in locked group formation, I can easily move my forces together. I would definitely recommend grouping to anyone who's getting into the game or who is actually all skill levels. I think can benefit from this grouping, especially on the march up. Group the majority of your units and push them up like that, and then kind of finesse the troops on your outside. Make sure, however, that once you're getting into combat, that you go ahead and break up that group into smaller tactical groups. You don't want to be accidentally clicking attack orders and having everyone in your group charge towards that one unit. Anyways, looks like my opponent was trying to similarly move around the flanks. I told my units to stop, and then I'm going to search the woods with some more of my spears. So as I move up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start reforming. I'm going to, as I said before, break up my troops. So I'm going to tell these pikes to go into group formation. I'm going to tell them to form up right here. I'm going to try and present a solid line of pikes up on this side. I'm going to try and get my archers to shoot at his median cav, try on precision shot, try and provoke my opponent. And yeah, I only get one volley off. I'm going to chase him with some of my heavy cav and keep sweeping the woods. Again, trying to provoke him, trying to get my opponent to focus on me as I sweep around the flanks with my other cav. So, selecting my main line of troops there. And these guys, a little hard even for me to see in the woods, so I'm guessing my opponent, even if he were to sort of see these guys revealed, he wouldn't be paying much attention to them. They're pretty hard to spot. I'm going to go ahead and charge these units up here. That's something I like to do. Be wary if your opponent does have archers that you got to keep your guys on the move and never charge straight at the archers. It's the easiest shot for them to take. The reason I do that is just to try and keep my opponent on his toes, try and get him to pull out some of his hidden cavalry, try and shuffle his forces around, and then I try and exploit that. So you can see there, he charges some of his cavalry out, and that sort of reveals them and allows my forces on the side to move up. And yeah, he's not even going to get any kills on me, so I don't think it's too much. It just costs a little bit of micro, and if he does get close enough, what I can do is tell my archers to turn around, shoot at his men, and I'm going to try to bait his forces right into my pikes. Of course that doesn't work, but you never know. You might as well try it. Take a look on the right. He's going to form up with some more of his troops. it's going to be problematic for me, so I'm going to keep in mind that I probably need to reinforce there. Now that his medium cav have pulled back a bit, I'm debating whether or not to engage them. Looks like my opponent is going to fall back, but at least I was able to do, I think, some HP damage with my cavalry. So now I'm going to, or with my archers. So yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and reform my archers and keep an eye on these guys. Keep them moving up, prepare them for the engagement that I know is going to occur on this side, because look, he's amassed all his cataphracts, or not his cataphracts, I think those are royal peltasts, yeah, on the right. So I'm going to try and face off against that, and I'm going to get my peltasts, those troops that actually do function as peltasts, not the royal peltasts. These guys are skirmishers. Baktria has some pretty good units. I'm going to move up 3 of them, and they're going to try and pick off his elite units from a distance, and I'm just going to curve the left side of my flank to hold off his men. My own sword units are going to go towards the center, and the cavalry are going to try and match his guys on this side here. So my peltasts are going to be, they were targeted on his cavalry. I thought I could score some quick kills, but it looks like he's going to actually turn around and try and engage with them, so I'm going to pull back and yeah, just keep playing with him. And now I'm going to try and move a little bit closer and see if I can't knock out some of his frontline warriors. At the same time, these archers here are kind of wasting their ammo. They're not going to end up doing much, so that's why I don't bring archers too often to these types of battles, but they are good for provoking your opponent. Opponent has light peltasts there. I don't want to engage just yet. I'm going to try and see if I can get the best advantage possible, mostly by moving those guys in to support. And yeah, right here I figured I could catch his guys unawares, so yeah, he's going to decide to push up and try and keep me from doing that. Tell these guys to go into pike formation and get my own peltasts to engage with his forces. Pull these guys back. I'm not quite yet ready to engage on that flank. And look at that massive spear wall moving up. Also through here I engaged a bit too far with my general. Not the best of ideas, because he's going to be caught in that scrum. But at least he's going to be a very, very elite type of cavalry, and so he's going to be able to hold out in time for reinforcements. At the same time, I do have more peltasts moving up and more reinforcements coming in here. I'm going to try and charge through to his light peltasts, get those guys engaged, and just keep stampeding through. You can see as I disengage that my general numbers plummeted, so definitely not something you should do, something you definitely have to keep aware of. That basically killed my general when I tried to pull him through. I'm still getting used to some of the mechanics like that, and yeah, you can see here he's going to start engaging him, pick off this side of his men there, and now that he has finished off my general here, he has found himself a bit caught. And look at these guys transferring right in front of my men, the thorax pikemen. That's not a good move. It's going to mean that all my peltasts can just go ahead and pick them apart, especially with quick reload. They're going to tear through those units. Right here I'm going to keep falling back. I don't want him to engage, and I'm going to keep delaying the inevitable of the battle on that side, and not allow his troops to get right into the thick of my men. He charged into my elite spears. Not a good choice. He's going to try and charge my men. I'm going to split up and make sure I'm attacking from an enveloping angle. Probably should have taken my guys off of unit formation, but that's fine. Going to move some more troops to help out. And take a look at my peltasts there, shredding his units, and the ones that came and faced me basically are doing no damage. I'm going to try and get these guys engaged, and you can see here my general sacrificed himself, got those guys engaged in the fight, and take a look at that. Now his weary men are going to be losing. I'm also going to be repositioning around the flanks. I'm worried about the flank on the left. Looks like my opponent has a lot more men than I do, especially with cavalry support, so I'm going to try and wrap up this flank. And take a look at this. The cataphracts are excellent shock troops for just this kind of engagement. I would definitely bring them, save them, or use them on the flanks for when troops are engaged like this. If you're in a losing battle and you land a cataphract strike just like that to the back of forces, they're going to get pulverized. So a very, very good hammer strike there. Cataphracts delivered one of the best hammer blows in the game, I would say. Also because of the weight in their armor and the charge bonuses they have. Let's take a look at the center. We're engaged in a pretty big fight here. I'm going to keep chasing down his guys here. It looks like his spears are going to try and keep me from wrapping around the side. That's fine. As long as I can keep those spears from wrapping around my flank, that'll be good. Peltasts are going to turn around, and these pikemen are going to try and wrap up those thorax pikemen. I pretty much have this side wrapped in the bag. Going to try and finish off his Azat Knights. Cataphracts are going to charge back into that fray. And yeah, looks like we are doing pretty well. His pikemen are going to start going around the sides. But take a look at the center. His guys are starting a rout, and looks like my men have effectively routed his main line. Look at the back. Both of us thinned each other's numbers, but in the end, I won. I would probably contribute that to the fact that even though we were both using thorax pikemen, I did have some skirmishers for support and some archers who did some additional damage. So I think that's what sort of gave me the little victory there. But you can still see some of the numbers are relatively close. Anyways, we're going to try and finish up this flank here. And yeah, not much more to say about the battle. I'm just wrapping up the forces. If he could unite his forces, he could be a relatively big threat, but you know, I'm not super worried. And yeah, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of Baktria. And I know the trend right now is for people to complain about CA. I think there's a time and a place for that, but there's an expression that I've been hearing recently from professors, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm not quite sure where that expression comes from, but it means basically if you're given a present or a good favor, don't go ahead and dismiss it. Go ahead and accept it for what it is. So I'm happy CA gave us this free DLC. Yeah, it's very cool. And again, that Caesar and Gaul DLC pack is something we're gonna have to wait on, and I know you guys have your own opinions on that, but I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, let me know what I can do more of for you guys. I know you guys definitely want to see more of those historical documentaries. It's a little hard for me to do when I'm in school, especially with exams that I have coming up. So these games that I do right here are kind of in between my studying, so it's easy for me to do. But if I'm going to sit down and just record for a couple hours to try and get footage for the historical Punic Wars, it's a bit hard for me. But keep in mind, I'm still working on that. If you guys didn't see when I announced the Caesar and Gaul, towards the end of that you do see a little bit of a preview of that. Anyways, he does have some of these pikes left here. They're going to be trying to hold out against my guys. I do have not quite the excellent troops to destroy him, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap around the flank with my archers and basically do an all-out charge right here. From the front, he's going to be able to decimate me, but that's where, obviously, numbers comes into effect when I can just wrap around the side. Cataphracts are helping me wrap out those forces there. Going to chase down his peltis, and here we go right here. Here we go right here. It's a nice expression. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and smack down into his men at the moment, pincing him from all sides, and that's going to be a rapid way to take out his forces here. And I wish I had a unit of cataphracts to smack him from the back. That would be basically the quickest route you could effect. So, once again, definitely liking Baktria. And look at this, actually, how they're holding up against the Seleucids. Very cool. But then again, the Seleucids did not bring elephants. They didn't bring a huge royal peltis component. They didn't bring the combination of Indian elephants and chariots plus camel archers, some of the most ridiculous builds that you can bring. This opponent didn't, and so that's why I think I was able to win. But anyways, good game to my opponent. Definitely enjoyed it. Played a couple battles with him, and yeah, I always like playing with you guys online. Take a look at the stats right here. My general unit did not get any kills, it looks like. I'm not sure where he was the whole battle, but the rest of my forces held up for their own. And yeah, Cataphracts definitely owning up to their name as heavy and deadly cavalry. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.